Draw simple, easy.
Well, hello there guys. Today we're going to be drawing a quick, simple, easy picture of Sanji from One Piece. So go ahead and grab yourself a pencil and paper and just start to draw a nice, fairly large circle up towards the top center part of your page. And this is going to be the top part of Sanji's face. Now I'm not going to continue this circle perfectly around to the bottom. I'm just going to leave a bit of a gap. And I'm going to create a center line that's coming off towards the left. So I'm going to curve out towards the left and bring the line that's going to drop down about 1/4 of this circle's length below the circle. So at an angle, if I imagine half of the circle here, and then a quarter's here, and a quarter's here, bottom of the circle's there, I'm going to go down another quarter to about there. And what I'm going to do is take this left hand edge of the circle, bring that down into a curve and a point towards the middle, and then do the same thing, just coming up off of the other side and meet the circle back up there. That's how we've kind of got his face in, just around about there and just there. Now this is going to be a fairly simple Sanji standing up with not too much going on, so hopefully it's going to be fairly quick. We're going to take this top quarter line that we've got, and this is going to be the top sort of hairline for Sanji really. And what happens is that his hair covers most of his face and just leaves a bit of a gap where you see only one side. So where we've got our middle line here for the front of his face, I'm going to go over just to about the right, just to about here. This is going to be the start of the gap. I'm going to create a line that goes right through this center, right through our halfway down and halfway across the circle. And it's just going to follow all the way through here and just curve naturally right off over the side. So we're going to have a lot of hair off to the left, and over to the right it's going to come down and it's going to basically take up about 1/4 of this circle on this side here, this particular zone. So I'm going to have another bit of hair that comes off at a curve, comes down to around about here, and it probably just spikes off there. So we'll worry about all these particular shapes in just a moment. Now just below where we've got the top area here for the hair, it's going to pop down into a tiny bit of a point and have a hairline just below there. And for Sanji's other bits of features, we're going to create a nose that goes about halfway down this gap here. That's the bottom of our circle and the first quarter. The nose is going to be pointing just off to the left of center. So I'm going to go to the left of this center line ever so slightly, create a line that comes down about here, about halfway as a point, and then just comes back in like so. And create a tiny bit of nostril there if I want. And really, now I just get to play around and map in the rest of the features and the eyes. So we're going to get Sanji's famous curling eyebrow in. And we're going to go where we've got the halfway point of the circle. And this quarter line, this kind of zone, this is going to be where we're going to have the eyebrow come right into the middle of this area. So I'm going to curve down around about here, swoop in, and once I'm halfway down there, I'm actually just going to come up around, right over the top, and then back around and in, right round like that. So I'm just creating this curling point that's down and around like so. It finishes right on the halfway line and drops down halfway into this particular zone. And once I've got that in, I know that I can have the eye just below it, just around about here. So I'm going to create just a curve that's up in here and down there. Doesn't quite touch to the side of this hairline. Certainly doesn't come any further out than where we've got the curl of this eyebrow, just like so. And then the underside is going to be right on this line here as well. So again, that's another curve that just comes up and in like this. Just creating an eye shape, not joining the edges, but doing a top line and a bottom line. Just get a little bit of an eye in there. Sanji's going to be looking downwards in this one. And then I'm just going to create a few little tuck lines, a very angular triangle point right up in here, just to show the hood of the eye, just like that. Just going to make sure that that's all in focus. Excellent, it is. And then we get to continue on. Let's get his smile in. Not quite the perfect center of the eye, but slightly to the right of it. We're going to get an edge of a smile about there, and it's going to come to around about here as well. And our guiding point for this is really that bottom curve of the circle we didn't quite draw in. And that's going to be a smile that's fairly flat at the top for the most part, it's going to hook right up. He's just prepared some food, he's having a great day. And then the bottom part of the smile is just going to curve round, pretty much in line with that bottom edge of the circle. So I'm just going to create a curve, comes right in here, shoots up there. Let's just get that there. Just going to shape it out a little bit here. Excellent. And I'm just going to angle the paper so it's a bit easier to draw with. I'm going to imagine his teeth line somewhere in there, and then he's going to have a lip line somewhere around about here, just below and equal with that. Excellent stuff. Now, the bottom of Sanji's face is just going to square out a little bit for me. So I'm going to let this curved line just drop into a bit more of a square there, and then just finish off up here like so as it curves back in. And this bottom part is actually going to be Sanji's goatee. It just drops off the bottom there, creates that point. So this area, if you imagine, is dark, and we draw that by having just a thin line that comes up here, and then he's going to have lots of sort of bits, just a few lines that I'm just drawing in around there. And he's got a very thin bit of goatee that just follows the top lip up and around here as well, like so. Great. Maybe just a couple notches over the nose, and now we get to worry about all the other bits like the hair. So in this example, we're going to follow this line that we've got here, this curve, and when it goes down over the nose, I'm going to start to draw in some more individual hairs. So I'm going to bring a point that comes down here, and then comes all the way up and back, and we're just going to follow this flow and just start to get out all the points and bits of Sanji's hair. Another one comes out here, and then again just goes up and creates that flow, and this is coming right up here to that top quarter line that we drew in for our circle. These lines really help us map it out. And then right up the top here, he's got a hair that goes off in another direction, right out like so, just curving off, and then back in, and then more bits of hair just going to be coming down here, and so on. Now basically there's a few points of hair that you can just draw in as you see fit. 1, maybe 2, curving round, and 3. And once it's coming off the side of his head, instead of curving in, they start to hook out instead. So do remember they go in the other direction. And what we're going to do is follow the top edge of this circle to again this top quarter point. And when we're in that top quarter, I'm going to have a bit of a hair that hooks out here, just like so, just doing these banana shaped hooking points. And then we've got some more hair that actually still hooks in, still curves around before then again hooking out like that. And then just a few more like so. So one hooks out here, maybe another one hooking out there. Excuse me. So same on this side, we're going to come down on this way, and we're going to start to hook back up. So just one long bit of hair firstly we're going to draw in. It curves right up to that top line there. And then another one round about here coming from the side, and again this comes all the way back up to around about here, our halfway line. And we start to get the hair going in the other direction. So it points off around about there. We've got the top of this circle, helps us make the top of Sanji's head with his hairline. And there's not too much trouble going on, it's just a few bits of hair that still stick out going off to the right here. And then if we imagine right where we've got the bottom of the circle, we're going to see a little bit of bottom edge of Sanji's ear, but the rest is still going to be covered by all the hair like so. Just something like that. And then just behind the ear, we've got a few other curls of hair that just make up the rest of the shape. Just throw in a couple of spikes, however you like it. And that basically tells us most of the story of the top of Sanji's head. So great, now that we've got that in, what we've done this time is we've really focused on just filling out this whole area, getting a few more lines that join all of this up here and up here just to curve it in. And now we get to just map out the rest of his top of the body and the jacket. So just before this chin line comes in, right down here, I'm going to drop that into her neck, and right about here where we've got the bottom of the ear coming off the back, we're going to have a bit of neck there as well. And what we're going to do is have some collar that comes right out of this joint as well to around about here. It doesn't stick out too far, and a tiny bit on this side, and these collars just going to drop down round about here. And this height of the head If we go all the way down here, this is going to help us just understand that we get to map out this whole area into another box. So I'm going to just create this large rectangle sitting below the head. I'm going to come down about here, and I'm going to start to fit things in this zone. So let's go and half that up. Do the same in this direction. And now we know how we're going to start to fit things in. So the collar is going to be all off to the left of center. The whole center line's off to the left, as you've noticed. So if I get in line with halfway along this box, that's about how far in the collar is going to go on this side. And then obviously we've got our neckline here. This collar is halfway through this section, so this quarter of the box, if you like. I'm just going to drop it down just into halfway along this zone. So I've quartered now this entire space. You don't need to worry too much. These quarters are just going to vaguely help us out. Doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm going to create this big wide open triangle space that goes round like this, and this is the inside cut of his jacket, which is going to help us understand where all the tie and all the other bits are. And so right up here where we've got the other collar, right out on this side, I'm going to bring another line down, indicate the rest of it here, comes around about here and just curves off like so. So now we get to just draw in the inside edges of the collar. This bit up here is just going to sweep up and back like so, and this bit on this side again is just going to come down round about to this area, and we're just going to have that slight extra second flap that you get, maybe about there, and on this side as well. It's probably just going to come out around about here. So now we're creating this inside area that's the inside of the shirt, like this, and we get to pop in a little neckline there, maybe a little something there for Sanji, where's his collarbone, and we're going to remember that we're going to get a line that just comes straight down here, and also curves off here for his tie. So the tie basically is very loose with Sanji. We're just going to create a lump right about this halfway point, just off to the left of center. This is our kind of tie shape. And then we're just going to draw the lines that come up the top of there. And then we're just going to show that it drops straight down, gets ever so slightly thicker, the tie, as it goes down, round about like so. Maybe just a little line to show the material going in there, like that. Nice. Now, we're just going to put in maybe a couple lines, one or two, to show where the shirt itself is folded, like that, just where it's creased. And then now that we've got this outside line, I'm going to use this to go from this collar point, which I think I'm going to bring this back and in just a little bit. So I'm going to go to about here, level with this one, bring it down flatter like so. So let's get rid of that line there. And then that means this inside edge is just up a little bit, just like this. Lovely, much happier already. So like I was saying, we're going to do the jacket area. So if we imagine that this is just going to be a bulb that comes around here, another big curving line, much like this one, and then very similar on this side, it's going to create a point around about here, but otherwise be a gently curving line, slightly more curvy than the inside edge on both sides. I'm basically just going to use that as a guide point. I'm going to come down here, come in as the edge of the jacket, shoot out just below the halfway line, and create a curve that points in. So this is the line we're actually using. And then really similar here, going to come out to about here, so it's level, let it all cut in, let it all shoot out, and go back down. Brilliant. So from this edge, I'm going to drop from this area right across this quarter line, just to create his shoulder coming down, and this is going to be then curving back in to show the shape of Sanji's body like that. And very similar but not so deep on this side, I'm going to let it come out about halfway down this quarter zone, right along this line, and a very similar thing, curve it right in to be Sanji's body. Now on the right hand side, I'm just going to let an arm come straight off down off the left, sorry, off the right I should say, his left, maybe a little notch of fabric round about here just to show we're dealing with material. And then on this side, a really similar thing, I'm going to create this bulb shape that hooks back in, and again notches back in there before I let the arm come off down that side. And there we basically have it. Let's check that's all in focus. Lovely, it is a quick, simple, easy picture of Sanji. So as ever, I'm going to drop into time lapse and I'm going to ink on top of this just so that you know which lines we're keeping and which lines we're getting rid of. And I'll see you guys right at the end. And there you have it, a nice, quick, simple, easy picture of Sanji. So what I'm going to do is scan this in, get some skin tones on here. Obviously he's got blonde hair, a very dark purple jacket with a sort of yellow inside shirt and a brown tie. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this tutorial to be useful. If you guys have had a go at home, don't forget you can always submit your artwork on my Facebook page, link in the description below, where I love to show off all your drawings as well to other people. And if you've liked this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and come subscribe if you haven't already. Alright guys, I'll see you next time round. Take care.